I can read the chat from here.
Good. Okay. Still says the twins up. Oh, there we are. Look, we're live. Oh, there we go. We're going to get some sort of horrible echo, so I'll turn that on. Oh, there we go. We're going to get some sort of... Cool.
Yeah, this works. Oh, hey, okay, Jim. Everything. How's video? How's audio? All good. Well, there it was.
Yeah, no, it's working.
No, I think it's just internet lag a bit there. Video pixelated. Yeah, watch.
No, it's just because I'm copying the link and I'm going to put it into the Discord.
All right, phone's off. Yes, well, this is monastery internet, and monastery internet everywhere in the world is bad. That's how it goes.
Unless you're at Bodiana where they've got, 4 different internet connections now.
Oh, they do? Oh,
yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I never had to use the internet there because I had cell service in a spot. So I checked into my plane and everything from my phone. Okay.
All right. Well, I guess we can introduce ourselves. Well, people know you.
Yeah.
That's Monday J. And I'm Ven Pasanna. I'm at Santee Monastery, south of Sydney. Not north.
South of Sydney, not north, yes. Yeah.
Cool. Well, this is the anticlimax, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got the stream working.
I'm just waiting to see
somebody
type it. Whoever's here, type in the chat just to see that we're actually still going. So this is the issue. Even okay, Robert. Hello, Robert. Yeah. So even
I can type in the chat.
Even when I'm back home, like sometimes if I don't see anything in the chat for a long time, I'll say, "Am I still here?"
Yeah.
Oh no, we're just listening.
Oh look, we got a fair few people. That's good.
Very good. All right, Jim, Robert. And of course, people who might actually see this later. When I have the chance, I'm going to clean up all the failed attempts. So why don't we do, since this is Dhammapalooza, why don't we start with doing some chanting? Why don't we just do like Itipiso, just
all
like the qualities? Right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Itipiso bhagava araham samma sambuddho vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta deva manussanam buddho bhagavati Svakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Ekaliko Ehipasiko Opanayiko Pachatam Veditavo Vinyuhiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujjupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samicchipatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidam chattari purisa yugani atta purisa puggala esa bhagavato savaka sangho ahuneyo pahuneyo dakhineyo anjali karaniyo Anuttaram punya ketam lokasati. All right. So, welcome to Dhammapalooza. I'm assuming people are still here. And, hello, Jay. Jay Bowen. Do I recognize that name? I don't know. My mind is trying to wonder if you're new to the stream or that you've been on Dhammapalooza or one of my streams before. Well, either way, welcome. So this is our fifth try.
Sixth try. Double time.
Oh, okay. Six. Yeah. Okay. So this is our sixth try of getting our special Dhammapalooza from Down Under going. And obviously, those of you who've been to Dhammapalooza before, you know it's this 2-hour festival of Dhamma on Monday nights in America. But it's going to be much shorter, and now even more shorter because it took us 30 some odd minutes to even get this working.
We've got 1 hour until Dana time, so yeah.
Well, actually, I was unmindful and rushing out of my kuti, and I forgot my bowl, so I had to go back.
No, we got a spare bowl. We can do your bowl. You're okay.
That works. All right. But anyway, so those of you who have been to Dhammapalooza before, you know how it works. Jay says, I've been here before, but can't always catch you live. Yeah. No worries.
Is Jay down under?
I don't know.
Because you're on a different time. Well, it's close to the time you do, right?
Jay, where are you from? We have a Gray. Gray is New Zealand. Malika is Australia. She usually comes to the Dhammapaloozas. There's another person from Australia. I'm not sure.
Here we go.
Oh, New Zealand. Another person from New Zealand. Great. Another Kiwi.
Fish and chips.
Yeah. All right. So, Jim is Melbourne. That's right. All right.
That's super cool.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, very good. So, hey, Daus. We know where Daus is. Daus is Czech Republic. So he's
That's a hardcore time zone to be picking this up on. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Jim, you're Delight. That's right.
Oh, okay.
Jim is Delight. That's right. Okay. Robert's with Aya Sudama in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hi, Aya.
All right. Well, I don't think Aya's there, but.
Well, I don't know. We should have got. Tech wouldn't have done that to get Aya Sudama in this one.
All right. So this is Dhammapalooza. So Dhammapalooza is a festival of Dhamma, meaning we do a variety of different things. We did some chanting. Now, what we can do is we could always read a sutta. And since there's 2 of us here, we could read the sutta Discord style and alternate between. Although we don't have Sutta Central popped up.
I can do it on here.
All right, yeah, that will work.
I've got Bante's translations in here, so that's doable.
So we can just choose a random sutta. Or if you have any questions for myself or Venerable, you can ask questions. We can do that as well. People are starting to come in.
Excellent.
Or at least the little.
I posted the link in the Discord, so hopefully the Discord crew will get us at least.
I'm gonna have to remember that Jim is Delight. I know you told me that when you saw me at Newbury, but I'm bad with names, so I forgot it already. Okay.
Is there any other sutta we can do other than the simile of the sword?
I'm okay with simile.
I don't know. I mean, it's like, I don't know what sutta you would think. What sutta do people want?
No, I never give it.
They don't get to choose.
Well, actually, I started doing this thing I called Anguttara Nikaya roulette.
Okay.
Where I mean, I don't know how it would work now, but usually what happens is they'll say, okay, we're going to go from the Anguttara Nikaya, and then I'll say 3, 2, 1, type a number in the chat, and then somebody would type a number, and I was like, okay, we're in the 30 whatever the book of 11s, and so like we'll read like a random sutta just by people putting random numbers.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I don't know how well it'll work on here, but is that offline or?
Yeah, this is offline. So then, because Sutta Central was being its usual slow self, and I didn't want to ruin our stream. So
wait, so
this is Bante's translation. Yeah.
Bante's translation offline.
Offline.
Is it an app or something? Or?
Yeah, this is a website called The Buddha's Words, which is I think thebuddhaswords.com. A monk who has now disrobed. His name's Tom. And he made this a long time ago, but now he's put Bante's translations into it and Ajahn Brahmali's translations too.
The Vinaya?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to know about this, especially if I can do it offline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. All right. Yeah, so I guess technically we could.
What's going on? Anyone have?
Yeah.
That was just a random tap. That was just randomly tapping suttas.
All right, that sounds good.
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Okay. So we are in the Anguttara Sixes and we're doing Sutta number 6. So, mendicants, a fine royal thoroughbred with 6 factors is worthy of a king, fit to serve a king, and is considered a factor of kingship. What 6? It's when a fine royal thoroughbred can endure sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches, and it's strong. A fine royal thoroughbred with these 6 factors is worthy of a king, fit to serve a king, and is considered a factor of kingship.
How small are these? Because
I don't know.
If we're in the Anguttara Nikaya, I figured we could.
Oh, it's small. Okay.
Yeah, like you read one and then I'll read the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the same way, a mendicant with 6 factors is worthy of offerings dedicated to the gods, worthy of hospitality, worthy of religious donation, worthy of veneration with joined palms, and is the supreme field of merit for the world. What 6? It's when the mendicant can endure sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and thoughts. A mendicant with these 6 factors is worthy of offerings dedicated to the gods, worthy of hospitality, worthy of religious donations, worthy of veneration with joined palms, and is the supreme field of merit for the world. Which is what we just chanted.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn to go Sutta roulette.
Oh, we're gonna do random.
I don't know. Oh, well, you can go to the next one, and there's a next arrow at the top there. Otherwise, but this is the one I just read. So yeah.
I'm interested in how the word that he translated as religious donation.
Is it? It's probably been dotted.
Oh, you can even do the
yeah.
Pali. That's great. You're right.
Yeah.
It has been ellipsed.
Well,
right.
we can work it out because it's what Ahane Paya.
To be
Ahane
off.
Dakaneo.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be Dakaneo. That's gifts, right? Yeah.
I think so. Religious donation. Yeah. The Bhante Sudatta's translations. Every once in a while, I have to say, wait, let me see the Pali word for this one because it's interesting. All right. Okay, so next one. Are we still live? Somebody type in the chat so that we know that we're still around. All right. Let's go to Samyutta Nikaya.
What do we got?
Oh,
another really short one.
All right.
What do we get? Anything? Is that even a sutta? It is.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those. It's one of those.
It's ones. A repeat or something, right?
Oh no, it's only the first one. All right. Okay, so we're on the Samyutta Nikaya. The Samyutta 32, Sutta number 1. A nice, really short one. At Savatthi, mendicants, I will teach you about the gods of the clouds. Deve, Listen. And what are the gods of the clouds? They are the gods of the cool clouds, the warm clouds, the thunder clouds, windy clouds, and rainy clouds. These are called the gods of the clouds. That's interesting. I have no recollection of ever reading.
Did you get up to? Have we got up to this far on Suttas Monday yet?
Oh no, I don't think so.
No,
I think we're in Samyutta like 14, maybe 15.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
So that means that there are weather gods, and if you want good weather, then you make offerings to the weather gods.
Yeah, I guess so. Windy clouds and rainy clouds. All right.
That's just a random
This
sequence.
is a small one. I'll do another one. Let's do something. The muse calls me to the Sutta Nipata. So I want to let's do.
Yeah, this isn't Bhante's Sutta Nipata. This is Kantipala's Sutta Nipata as well. So
I don't know if I know that one. So let's see the.
I think.
And these are a bit longer, so we can share these ones.
Yep.
Let's see.
Checking in.
Oh, hello, Dhamma learner. Frank, welcome. We have some friends from. Let's see. Let's see. We started. It was 5, so it's getting close to 6. So now, if you were on a commute after work,
it's a better time.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone was probably riding home, getting their commutes and getting their messages. Going, they're online, offline.
Well, Frank, it's even earlier. It's like 1 or 2 o'clock. Because he's
West Coast.
Yeah, West Coast.
Yeah.
He goes to Ajahn Nisabo's place, the Clear Mountain.
Clear Mountain. Yeah. Excellent.
All right, so we're going to do Sutta Nipata, Chapter 1, Chapter of the Snake, the Rhino Horn.
Oh, is it the Wanderer Alone?
Let's see. Teaching for the hermit-minded. Oh, that's interesting. Put by the rod for all that lives, tormenting not a single one. Long not for child, how then for friend? Fare singly as the rhino's horn. Attraction comes from meetings with, and from attraction dukkha's born. See danger of attraction then, fare singly as the rhino's horn. One full of truth, for friends well loved, with mind attached, neglects the good. Seeing this danger in association, fare singly as the rhino's horn. The next couple. Right there, tangled. I scrolled it to the top. Yeah.
Tangled as the crowding bamboo boughs is fond regard for partner child, as the tall tops are tangle free, fare singly as the rhino's horn. The deer untethered roams the woods. Right, the kangaroo untethered roams the bush. Because this is Dhammapalooza down under. Going wherever it wants to graze. Seeing its liberty, wise one, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Among friends, one's asked for this or that, when resting, standing, going on tour. Seeing the liberty few desire, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Among friends, there's sexy playfulness, and love for children's very great. While loath to part from those beloved, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Oh no, we quit.
Uh-oh. Hello, Shrumo. Welcome.
There you go. 42.
Scooch over a little bit. I moved over this way.
Yeah.
So this way. I went to put you more in the camera, and our friend got briefly on the video. So I made sure. Very briefly, half a second. So yeah, this is better. All right. Okay. So is it?
Yeah, 42. Yeah.
Okay. Frank is saying that he already spent 3 hours on Dhamma activities, so in a really good headspace. Very
Excellent.
Good. Resentment none to quarters for. Wow, this is real poetic.
Yeah, this is the thing. Yeah.
Resentment none to quarters for, and well content with this and that. Enduring dangers undismayed, fair singly as the rhino's horn. Some home forsakers ill consort, as householders who live at home, but unconcerned with others' kids, fair singly as the rhino's horns. Let fall the marks of householder, as Covilaras parted leaves, a hero having house ties cut, fair singly as the rhino's horn. For practice if one finds a friend, prudent, well-behaved, and wise, mindful, joyful, live as one, all troubles overcoming. But if you do not find a friend, prudent, well-behaved, and wise, then like a king who leaves his conquered lands, for singly as a rhino's horn.
Surely we praise accomplished friends, choose friends who are equal or the best. Not finding these, live blamelessly, fair singly as the rhino's horn. See golden bangles on an arm, well burnished by the goldsmith's art, clash together the two of them, fair singly as the rhino's horn. When there's, for me, a second one, with intimate talk and curses both, seeing this fear in future time, fair singly as the rhino's horn. Sense things so sweet, so varied, in diverse forms disturb the mind, seeing the bane of sense desire, fair singly as the rhino's horn. Yeah.
51.
51.
Oh, and speaking of which, as we're reading through, it's quite rare that we have Bhikkhuni on the stream. So if you have any questions for the Venerable, please, ask the questions. Or, for me too, but, I'm always around anyway.
You can ask Bhante about Australia otherwise.
Yeah, I guess
what
that's
life
true.
is like upside down.
The water goes down the toilet the opposite way.
This is great. Halfway through a sutta.
All right. They are a plague, a blame. I've never seen that word before. Blain. Interesting.
Yeah.
A plague, a blame, distress, disease, a dart, and danger too. Seeing this fear in sense desires, fare singly as a rhino's horn. The heat and cold and hunger and thirst, wind, sun, mosquitoes, bites, and snakes, enduring one and all of these, fare singly as a rhino's horn. As elephant bull of noble mien, full grown, the flock forsakes and lives in forests as it pleases him, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Who loves to live in company, in timely freedom cannot find. So kinsman of the sun, I love that. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, mine too.
Kinsman of the sun.
Favorite epithets of the Buddha. Yeah.
So kinsman of the sun declared, fare singly as the rhino's horn. View contortions gone beyond, right method won, and path attained. I know, no other is my guide, fare singly as the rhino's horn.
No greed, no guile, no thirst, no slur, and blown away by delusion's fault, wantless in all the worlds become, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Shun the evil friend who sees no goal commenced in crooked ways. Serve not at will the wanton one, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Follow that friend who's deeply learned, Dharma endowed and lucid great, knows meaning leading out of doubt, fare singly as the rhino's horn. In playful love and sensual joys, find no reward, no longer long. Embellish not, but speak the truth, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Partner, children, parents too, kin and wealth, things bought with it, leaving all sense desires behind, fare singly as the rhino's horn. They are but bonds and brief their joy, and few their sweets and more their ills. Hooks in the throat, this knowing well, fare singly as the rhino's horn.
So Shrumo is really fascinated by this sutta.
It's one of my favorites, actually. I really love this one. Yeah.
So this is in the Sutta Nipata. So if you're looking on like Sutta Central, you'd have to go under the Khuddaka Nikaya, the small Nikaya, and then under Sutta Nipata, and then I don't know. Let's see we're at 62. So this
1-3.
1-3. Yeah, there you go. And Jim says that Blaine is like a sore. I've had chilblains before.
I've got chilblains on my toes right now.
Oh, okay.
It's an occupational hazard at Santee. It was really cold at the beginning of the week. If you've got bad circulation, which obviously you don't.
I'm born for the cold, so I'm like, as they say in America, Nanook of the North. I like cold. But okay, so 62. Do snap the fetters as a net by river denizen is broke. As fire to waste comes back no more, fair singly as the rhino's horn. With downcast eyes not loitering, with guarded sense, warded thoughts, with mind that festers not nor burns, fair singly as the rhino's horn. Discard householders' finery, and shed their leaves the coral trees. Go forth in Kasaya robes, fair singly as the rhino's horn. Crave not for tastes, but free of greed, for alms food walk, omitting none. And unattached among families, fair singly as the rhino's horn. So this is one of those things that I'm just going to pause and explain. So for alms food walk, omitting none. So this was a practice, meaning that, as you go to the houses, you don't skip a house. You go in front of a house, then you pause with your bowl. And so you're basically giving everybody the opportunity, the possibility to put food in the bowl and gain merit in that way.
I was monk doing this in Hawaii.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He just picked blocks and would walk them, and eventually people started feeding him. They were like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just sharing metta. Yeah, I'm just sharing kindness with your house." And they're like, "Well, do it from the footpath."
It is. I can see that being, as a Western perspective, that's kind of weird. It's like, who is this person? Why are they standing out in front of my?
I'm just blessing your house. We'll do it from the footpath. Get off my lawn.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, and the other one was unattached among families. So this is one of those things where people think that this means like the individual's families. Now, this means that as a monastic, not to become too close, too attached to the people who are generous to you, the people who offer you requisites and things like that. Because there's a common feeling that like when somebody is so generous and so wonderful to you, like look at like the two Sri Lankan sisters, Anoma and Shanta, who brought me to Australia. Like that, so much gratitude and feel so happy and towards them that they did this for me. But I shouldn't become too attached to them, right?
So you can't then play favorites with them and like, I'm not going to go visit anyone else and just do dana with them and
these kind of things. So this is a very important thing, not to become too attached as a monastic to the donors in this regard. And also that it helps not to get, too close, because then you kind of can lose the, like in the Dasadhamma, how monastics are supposed to be separate, right? We're supposed to have a different life, not get too close. But that's what those mean. Okay. Now, where was I here? Okay, here we go. Okay.
Like 66.
Yeah, 66. Abandon minds, 5 hindrances. Set aside defilements all. Affection blemish having cut. Fare singly as the rhino's horn. Let go of pain and happiness, with previous joys and sorrows too. Gained poise and calm and purity. fare singly as the rhino's horn. 68.
Resolve to win the ultimate, not slack in mind nor slothful ways, but steady, strong in body and mind, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Seclusion, jhana, do not cease, but what's in line with Dharma to do, with mastered existential fears, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Alert, aspiring cravings end, clear-voiced and learned, mindful too, striven?
Oh, yeah, striven. You said it right.
Yeah. Striven, true Dharma, having known, fare singly as the rhino's horn. As lion is unafraid of sounds, like wind not caught within a net, as lotus not by water soiled, fare singly as the rhino's horn. As lion strong-toothed, the king of beasts, subdues them all, so overcome, by use of practice place remote, fare singly as the rhino's horn. You want to take the last three?
Oh, yeah, sure. And then we have a question for you after we finish.
Oh, okay.
Frequent the metta mind, and ruth at times, poised mind and joyful too, unhindered mind by all the world, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Lust, hatred, and delusion gone, all the fetters having snapped, then at life's end one trembles not, fare singly as the rhino's horn. They serve in following having aims. Folk cunning, selfish aimed and foul, friends seeking naught are scarce today, fare singly as the rhino's horn. Kaggavissa nasatutang tatyam. We're done. All right. So Shrumo says, I'm curious to hear about any and which contemplations the bhikkhuni does in meditation or daily life. And then he says, I didn't catch her name. And so I just
put my name in.
Yeah.
Contemplations in daily life. I quite like doing death contemplation. I think we're both fans of death contemplation.
Talk about it. How do you do it?
How do I do it? Well, do it different ways, I think. It just depends. I mean, here at Santi, I've only actually been at Santi Monastery for about a month now. And it's a proper roughy-tufty forest monastery, And so I was actually I got into bed the other night, and then I heard a tree crash, and I went, oh, I could really die tonight. It's like around my kuti, pretty much every day a tree falls down. So that's death contemplation in itself. And I think, I like just reading through the sutta that lists all the different ways that you could die. So you could die from food poisoning and upwinds and downwinds going wrong. A snake could bite me. A tree could fall on me. A kangaroo could. No, they can't.
A scorpion.
Yeah, scorpion. A funnel web spider could bite me. Yeah. If you go just through these lists, and then it says, well, if you have no defilements left, then no worries. But otherwise, keep practicing day and night, because you could just die at any time. So just recollecting that, I think, is very powerful. Yeah. I'm also a fan of doing skeleton meditation. So just working through the body from the feet to the head and visualizing the bones and stuff like that. So that's really, I find that really calming, because it's and so I don't know, some people might find it kind of disturbing, but I was talking with another practitioner about it, and she does this the same. She'll just visualize all the bones, say in your feet, and then work up your ankles, up your shins to your knees, your thighs, your hip bones, and then all the little vertebrae in your back. That's cool. And I don't find it hard to visualize, because I think, I was involved in so much fitness stuff and that before I started, before I ordained. So I think I have good awareness of the body, and And I find it like a really grounding thing just to settle down on the bones and stuff like that. Do you do that kind of thing?
Yeah.
You do bones? Yeah.
Speaking
cool.
of which, do you know what this is?
That looks like it's a Bodhiana.
That's the skeleton. That's Ajahn
Oh,
Brahm's
that's the
skeletons in the closet.
Yeah. Can we show it on the camera?
Let's see.
Will it work?
Ajahn Brahm's skeletons in the closet at Bodhinyana. when I went to Bodhinyana and I first saw Ajahn Brahm at the beginning earlier in the month, the first thing he did, because we were getting ready to go to the meal. He says, it's just sorry. He says, oh, here, come look at the closet. And he opens it and he looks at me. He's like, oh, the skeletons. These are the skeletons in the closet.
Did you see the skull? He's got like some 600-year-old skull.
No,
it's in his kuti. So yeah, he lends it out to monks though.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I've just heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, Bhavana had a skull from Bhante Rahula. Bhante Rahula was I think the
Bhante
story
Rahula
was
is alive, so it's not from Bhante Rahula.
No. Well, what happened was someone because they knew Bhante Rahula, like the skeleton and all that kind of stuff. Somebody one day, and if the story goes correct, that I know they don't know who sent it, but it just came in the mail one day, and it was an actual human skull. And I was there. I actually had.
How did that get through the post?
I had it in my kuti for a while, but yeah. So Shruma is saying, "I appreciate the perspective. It's grounding." Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jim is saying, "Do you have ticks up there?"
In Western Australia, we have lots of ticks, but we don't have Lyme's disease. But over here, there's probably ticks. The map says there are ticks, but I mean, we've been bashing around in the forest pretty much every afternoon since Bhante got here. And
remember, Jim is the one from Melbourne too, so he
yeah.
So
yeah, but up here in the Southern Highlands, I haven't had any problems with ticks. I got mauled by mosquitoes the first day I went out for a bushwalk, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. At Newbury, the Ajahn said that supposedly, the government says there is none, but there are people who say that they've had ticks on them.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't seem to be like East Coast USA where there's just ticks and Lyme disease all over the place. I've checked myself, and I have my special tick removal things that I always carry with me. Yeah, the tick twister stuff, exactly.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any ticks on me, no matter where I've been.
That's a good thing to let people know about, though, because otherwise you end up killing the ticks. The tick twister is the best thing ever. Yeah.
Well, even if you're not a Buddhist and you don't care about killing the ticks, if you're doing it wrong, you actually twist the body off and the head's still in there, and then all the poison gets in there anyway, the infection and everything. So the twisters are just the best way of doing it. But let's see here. Frank is saying, if you live in an urban environment, there's less danger from animals, but there's still danger. Getting hit by a car, fall down the stairs, mass shootings, etc. Yeah.
Oh, in Australia, we don't have the mass shootings, so, come down under.
Yeah. Well, I guess you don't even have, in England, they have, mass knifings, but I guess you don't have that here either.
It hasn't happened. Well, we won't jinx things, but...
Because I remember, just last year, there was something some guy is at a store or something, knifed 20 people, not 20, 10 or 15, or something like that. But yeah, it's a crazy world, and it's called samsara.
Quick, get out.
Yeah. Well, that's when we were talking about our past and thinking about samsara and rebirth yesterday. One thing I always was to mention was I never want to have to go through high school ever again. So when I think of samsara, I think okay, let's become awakened so I don't have to
do teenage years and early 20s.
No teenage years again. Yes, exactly. Let's see. But yeah, this is the thing about when you really reflect. So it's growing up Catholic, I really got into, after I read Revelations, I really got into the whole end of the world stuff and all ways things can die, so Nostradamus and the Aztecs and all these things. And as getting into that, you just find out that there's really all kinds of ways that even society can end. Like most people don't know that if there's a certain size solar flare from the sun, there's solar flares from the sun all the time. If there's a certain size solar flare from the sun that comes out and it's at the right exact time that it hits Earth,
the radiation is enough to kill us all.
Well, not the radiations, but what can happen was, like, say in America, it could take down the whole power grid in America for weeks. And when that happens, chaos, death, all kinds of craziness.
Hospitals can't run. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You can't run. Like, they have generators maybe for what, a day, 2 days.
Maybe a week at most if they're good. Yeah. So like all kinds of things can happen. Like I remember a story. I tell this story often. Like the story is this woman. I don't know exactly where she was from, but the story is she's laying in her bed, and I guess it's a 2-person bed, but there's nobody else in it. So she's just laying in her bed and she's on her pillow, and like a meteorite comes from the sky through the house and through the pillow right next to her.
Whoa.
And she's like, well, yeah, I could have died just if it was just a foot over, it would have been my head.
Wow.
Right. So there's like all kinds of absurd ways that you could die. Right? And so that's why that in Mindfulness of Death 2, I think both of those, Mindfulness of Death 1 and Mindfulness of Death 2, are both in Anguttara Nikaya. I don't exactly know what numbers.
I think the one I was quoting was 2.
Yes, yeah. Where you go through the whole list of digestion, scorpions, whatever, all these kind of things. When you're awake and you're about to go through the day, you reflect on all the ways you can die. And when you're about to, go to sleep, you reflect that you might not make it to the morning. And when you do that, it's quite powerful. At Bhavana Society, part of my normal hour-long practice would be that I would do 20 minutes of walking meditation. And then there's a hanging skeleton right out, in the beginning of the meditation hall. And I would just go in front of the skeleton. I named the skeleton Jack. And I would go in front of the skeleton and I would, do mindfulness of death. I'd do like the 5 contemplations, the parts of the body, charnel ground contemplations. I'd even be like, I'd feel like my bone and I'd feel his bone. Or her bone, whichever one it was. I was like, oh yeah, look, it's the same. Like there's this bone in me, right? And it was very powerful stuff, very powerful. And then I would do, right after that, I would do metta meditation. So the mindfulness of death stuff is stuff that I've done for daily for many, many years at this point. And it's really powerful. It brings a lot of peace, brings a lot of contentment. It's good stuff.
That's funny. Your skeleton was named Jack, and all the skeletons that we have at Dhammapalooza are named Bob.
Oh, well, I mean, I personally just named it Jack. I don't know if anybody else named it.
One of the other nuns decided all the skeletons and many other things in the monastery are named Bob because she thought it sounded funny. She's from Hong Kong, and she just that's a weird sound.
Yeah. Well, I named it Jack for multiple reasons. The first was Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas, that movie. The second was that was the name for Jackie that I would talk to her. So that was it was just this weird thing, Jack. So there's multiple reasons why I named Jackie. I named it Jack. Yeah. But So we have more. Shrumo says, "What synchronicity that I said that and she described it in the same words, right?" So very good. So Shrumo is quite happy that you're on the stream with us today.
Excellent. Very good.
I really appreciate the perspective. All right. Jim said he didn't know that about the U.S. I'm assuming the ticks.
Yeah. Not the mass shootings. We know about that.
Shrumo says, I've heard many monastics say that the Dhamma protects the practitioner in many cases from the tragedies that may stop their practice. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I don't know. A lot of at least Western monastics, I think, tend to not talk too deeply about that stuff. Maybe because they don't think that most people are not going to believe it or care about it or anything like that. I don't know, but I've had my own experiences where I do feel like because of the Dhamma in various ways that I've been protected in one way or another. Either through the power of metta, or just maybe a deva looking out for me or something. So I don't know. I'm a believer in it myself.
And I mean, if you walk through this forest, you've got to believe it, because if you walk around the whole forest, you can still see where it was burnt from a fire that came through 2-3 years ago. And there's burnt trees 2-3 feet away from the kutis, and these are like flimsy wooden kutis.
Yeah, my kuti that I'm staying in, the bridge kuti, like you walk right outside, and there's
the bridge has been replaced.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was burnt.
That was burnt. That's the only thing that got damaged in the whole of the monastery.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you walk outside, and you could. I mean, from my kuti, I could touch the tree. Sitting on my balcony, I can touch the trees that got burnt. And like this kuti's been here 30 years. Yeah. So, and the same thing happened at Dhammasara. We had a fire a year later after the Santi fires, and it was blowing full force, the wind, right towards the monastery. And we're watching it from Venerable Karunika's family's house, and all of a sudden it's like the wind just changes direction, and it just circles right around the side of the property. Ajahn Brahm said, "Go home and thank the devas." So.
Shurma says the cosmos loves bhikkhus and bhikkhunis.
True. I think the same thing happened by Giri too. Like the fireys who were there, they said they were there defending it in the car park, and they saw the fire come up, and then it just stopped. Yeah, and they said they'd never seen that before.
Frank says, I can see that. There's plenty of times that I should have died but didn't, and plenty of them were ridiculously improbable, like my appendix bursting and being discovered a week later.
Oh.
Well, you survived that a week? Wow. that does sound improbable. Yeah. Well, there is something to, on both ends, there's something to like when somebody becomes a monastic, there's something to Mara really not being happy about it and trying to do all kinds of stuff to stop it. Like in my own life, and I've spoken to multiple monastics who had the same experience. It's like you're all of a sudden you're determined to become a monastic, and then all of a sudden there's like, people that pop up that you're romantically attracted to, and things like all kinds of like sensual pleasures are coming into your life, and like, wait a second, where were all these like before I wanted to become a monastic? And all of this is happening, right? And it really felt like to me like Mara was trying to like throw all kinds of things in my way, but by that point I was too dead. I'm going. That Mara wasn't stopping me now.
I had the opposite. I had like devas just helping me out all the way. Yeah, it was like I had nowhere to live and stuff like that. And it'd get to a day before the place I was staying in, I was house sitting, and I get this phone call or a message, and somebody like, "Oh, you want to come look after my place for 3 weeks?" And I was like, "Okay." And one time I parked my car outside of this house I was looking after, and I noticed that the cover for my wing mirror had come off. And I walked up and down the street like every day for 3-4 days and couldn't find it. I thought, I have to order a new one because I had to sell my car before I ordained. And then one day I was in the bedroom I was staying in and just had this feeling to go look outside the window, like really strong intuition to go look outside the window. And it was sitting right there.
Oh.
And it definitely was not there beforehand. It was like, it was like, pretty much right on the front step kind of thing. So I would have seen it if it had been there for the week. All sorts of strange things, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Funny one also, I was on Pindapat one time, and I'd got enough food pretty much, and I thought I'd make one more stop at the Chinatown gates, and I was walking past Krispy Kremes and went, gee, it'd be nice to have some dessert. And I went, oh no, the devas all hear me, that's really greedy. So I stop and stand outside, keep going a little bit further and stop at the Chinatown gates, and I'm standing there. And this guy comes up to me so excited, waving this $10 note. And I'm like, no, I can't take your money. And he goes, I can get you food. I'll be back. And a lot of people do that, and they don't come back. And I was standing there, I count and wait. And I was about to leave, and he shows up with this giant box, 24 donuts.
Wow.
And he goes, I just came back from meditating in the Himalayas and I wanted to offer this for you. I was like, that's cool.
Oh, boy. Maybe he was a deva. He
That's
he
what
read
I
your
think.
mind. He's
I couldn't even pick what nationality he was or anything. Yeah.
Like Aya Karunika's paddler.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We are coming close to the end here. We wanted to end by 10:30, so.
Yeah.
Frank says, it's like Mara was trying to take me out before I had a chance to encounter the Dhamma. All right. Okay. I think this is a good time to end.
Yep.
So, friends, thank you for bearing with us for our 5 or 6 attempts of getting this to work. So, Sukhi Hotu, may you be happy, practice well, and be well. Now, it won't be this Monday because I won't be leaving Australia until Tuesday. But then the Monday after that, we'll be back on Dhammapalooza back in America. Let's see. That's going to be what? The 5th.
5th.
Yeah. And then I have a retreat that weekend too. I'm doing a retreat on Zoom. But okay, friends, until next time, Sukhi Hotu, may you be happy, practice well and be well. May you have a spiritually successful and peaceful practice until we meet again.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.